All right, we are back, and we're having some real talk here with some real family members about some real Westerns. Before we get started, we want to remind everybody that our contest, our weekly sweepstakes contest, is closed now. Last week, or this week, we gave away a wonderful trip to Arizona. We will announce that winner coming up, as well as kicking off our brand new contest. So stay tuned. Now, our heroes have always been cowboys, thanks to the great American film genre known as the Western. Sandy Newton is back. Not selling, no hot flash sales today, but we are talking about some of our favorite Westerns. What yours?
Love them.
Where?
Do you know, I have to say, I love the old classic, old school, and I know Peter's going to tell us a lot of great stories. But in 2010, they remade True Grit, the original John Wayne film, with Jeff Bridges. And I have to tell you, for a non-Western aficionado, it really worked for me. I thought it had everything a Western should have. Great action, a little bit of a kind of a, you know, cowboy bromance there going
on, sure.
But there's some interesting facts about Jeff Bridges and his guns that Peter told us,
brought up
Mark.
during rehearsal.
When I watched the movie, I thought it was a great movie. I thought they did a wonderful job. But Jeff Bridges kept on putting his gun in the holster, never loaded. He would empty them. And I said, why would a lawman chasing desperados in horrible territory would put an empty gun in his holster? What is that gonna? Why? That's what I said.
Why? Props department.
Well, basically, it's because the actors don't reload their guns. It's the armorer, it's the prop guy. So they just put them away and they cut, and then they give it to somebody, and then he loads it for them.
Is it against union rules or something that they can't do that?
No, it's because most actors, unfortunately, in the good movies, the movies made in the 30s and the 40s with Errol Flynn and Clark Gable, Roy Rogers, all of those guys, they knew how to handle guns. And it was just second nature to them. Right. They knew how to ride horses. It was all second nature to them. Today, a lot of the actors don't know how to do that. And that's the unfortunate part about it, because they have three wranglers holding a horse for them while they get on. One of the things that I always mention is watch a guy in today's movies getting on a horse. He'll walk to the horse, and then they cut to somebody watching him. And then he's on the horse. That's because they had a couple of wranglers helping him get on the horse. Now he's there.
Oh,
interesting.
Fantastic. Blazing Saddles is another one of your favorites.
And you know, if you've got kids, that's a good one for them to watch too, because it's got a little bit of authentic cowboy culture, but it's funny.
Blazing Saddles is a wonderful movie. It's a great movie to watch, and no matter how many times you watch it, you just laugh at it. It's a good movie, and it was perfect for that time. It would be hard to make Blazing Saddles now.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Classic.
Wasn't it a classic?
Talk about a bromance, right?
That
was the
That was another
original,
one on your list.
It's a wonderful movie, but the one thing that I try to make better in movies is the authenticity behind it. In 1929, they made The Virginian with Gary Cooper. They used Buscadero gun belts, which were new in the 1920s. They were never invented in the 1870s, 80s, 90s. They were invented in 1920. Hollywood took them to task. In 1969, and now, in 1929, they were flying biplane airplanes for the Army Air Force. In 1969, we put a man on the moon, but they still used Buscadero rigs in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They didn't improve the genre. They didn't step up to the plate. They still had bad saddles, bad holsters, bad guns, things that didn't exist in the time period that they made these movies.
Interesting.
That's what I came about.
So
I'm trying to make it right.
Here's where I come from, you guys, on this standpoint, and we laugh about this, but my parents have never been to a movie theater in my lifetime.
It's unbelievable. You of all people,
right? So I never, until we started researching this, I thought to myself, I'm like, well, I'm going to start naming off the big Westerns that I would go to the theater and see, or what, and there were none that we would go see. So all of my stuff kind of came from home. And then I was like, well, what Westerns did I grow up watching? And it was all the TV shows. It was like The Lone Ranger, Wild Wild West, Bonanza, Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, by the way, was my dad's favorite. We would gather around the TV. So
watch it all
did
day.
I lose out on the authenticity of what goes on in a true Western?
Hollywood in the 1950s and 1960s had standard cliches. And they didn't they used the Buscadero gun rigs. Everything was always wrong. When we did Tombstone, that was the first movie that used authentic stuff, because Kevin Jarre, who wrote it and was the first director, said he knew what was right and he wanted to make it right. And that was the first movie that was made right, and none since then have come up to par. We are the bar on what authentic movies look like.
And Peter, that's a shot of you in Tombstone.
Yeah, look at that.
I was Texas Jack, yes.
Nice.
There you go.
Very
I would
nice.
not mess with that guy.
Right.
That was me as a younger guy.
I'm a little nervous. My back's to you in that.
Yeah,
that
that's
shot.
true.
But look, I maybe it's my generation, but I love Christina. You love what were you?
I love Maverick. 'Cause
Maverick.
I love James Gardner. That's the only reason why I watched it. I didn't care.
James Gardner, I worked with James Gardner. He is a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
is absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful, and I'm so glad that he's still with us.
Yeah. Yeah. But look, Dances with Wolves.
I
is one
love
of your
Dances
favorites.
with Wolves.
Right?
I love
great
that
one.
movie.
I'm going to jump forward because 3:10 to Yuma was another one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say this now. I think Django Unchained. But see, I'm much more current. I don't know, are cowboys even cool anymore? Will people buy a ticket to go to the
Django
theater?
Unchained is 1858. It's before Cowboys. And again, all the guns weren't invented in 1858 that they used in the movie. The saddles were modern saddles
Goodness.
that they used in the movie. The costuming was kind of not
Yeah.
up to par for that period. And that's the problem with Django. It's a good story,
Yeah.
good script, great lines, great acting. But when you look at the nitty-gritty of it and the good stuff that people want to see, it's not there.
Quickly, tell us about Yellow Rock you're in. In
Yeah.
2012, this came out.
Yellow Rock's a movie we did a couple of years ago about Indian tribe and greedy guys going after gold and lying to everybody. And Michael Biehn is in it with me, and he plays a good guy, whereas in Tombstone he plays a bad guy. I played a good guy. Now he gets to kill me after I try to kill him.
All right, let's take a look at that.
Oh, we have a clip. Hey, drunkard. You want a drink?
Gonna shoot you.
Christina
bad
treats me like
guy.
that every morning in the trailer.
do
She throws back a swig.
No, he doesn't.
I do. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for
Thank
chiming
you.
in on this edition of Real Talk. By the way, all the things that we talked about today available at Amazon.com and Netflix. And we're going to see you real soon again for more chit-chat
Yes.
about movies. When we come back, though, Peter is going to show us how to connect with your horse, if you have one, before you even get on it. So stick around.
Thank you. That's